Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people around the world, welcome to Awthentik and The Beard, the best television show not on television. This is the Parlay. This is the place where you win fantasy football games. You win parlays. And most importantly, you have a damn good time. Without further ado, let me bring in my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, and my partner in last night's festivities of my team, Mr. Awthentik.
Oh, what's going on, brother? How you living, man?
I'm living good. Today is game day, but last night was game night.
That's a fact. We started off pretty slow, man. It was looking real crazy in the beginning there, but ended up pulling out that victory. They had to go under the hood, check a couple of replays, and call on the field stance.
There was definitely some replays that needed to happen last night. We fell early into a 1-0 hole after, what was the name of that one? The first game was...
what was the first game?
Tell me without saying something.
Something like that. It was a kind of charades vibe, something like that, a little bit of taboo vibes, and we definitely started off wild. What was it? We had to roll the dice, and we had to act it out, trying to figure out the word and whatnot. We were struggling for sure. Our team was lacking some power players. You know, we didn't have a top 3 last night, I would say. But I held my own weight, man.
Yes, and we came back strong in game 2, and we won Jenga, and then we closed out the series with a big win in Pictionary. So shout out to Awthentik. Awthentik was crushing it in Pictionary.
Oh yeah, definitely was crushing it in Pictionary. And in that first game too, man. I mean, our team, what was it? It was like teams of 10 to 12 or something like that, man. Our team was struggling in the beginning of that first game.
Yeah, it was not easy at all. But big shout out to everybody who is in the chat today. We appreciate all the love and the support. Make sure you guys are hitting that thumbs up, and let the world know that Awthentik and The Beard are about ready to be dropping nuggets galore.
I thought you were going to say dropping some bombs. I had that Marge bomb ready right there.
Well, there is some early bombs in the mix right now with... we do have Josh Allen apparently is going to be playing today. So that is a big story right now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and give some quick little shout outs and jump right in to the mix. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody. We appreciate it. I mean, we got people on Twitter. We got people on Twitch. We got people on Facebook. And, of course, here on the YouTubes. It is week 10. I tried to tell Awthentik last night it was week 11, but he wasn't having it. So
I was not having it. Yeah, and shout out to StreamYard for, I'm getting all these errors right now about Facebook and all that.
Yeah.
Well, it's most important to be right here on YouTube. Y'all know what it is.
Yes, sir. All right. First in the building and letting everybody know about it, big shout out to Kevin and PRF, one of our resident Washington Commanders fans, checking us out early this morning on Sunday. Shout out to everybody who got up early this morning to watch the Germany game. I believe it's still 14-0 Tampa Bay.
Yep,
Is
Tampa's
that correct?
still up. Every
time I hear the word Germany, all I can think of is the song we had the discussion about a couple weeks back.
That was.
Did you listen to it yet?
Nah, I didn't listen to it yet, man.
Okay.
You know, the
we
way my
off.
complexion is set up. And
yeah, I highly recommend you listen to that. You should probably listen to it right before kickoff for the Giants game, because I feel like you might get extremely hyped up for that.
What's the name of it again?
Now, this is the thing. I don't know if I know exactly how to spell the name of the song. It is by a group called Rammstein, I believe. Rammstein.
Okay.
Ramstein. And it's called Du hast me, something like that.
Du hast.
Yeah.
I like that.
Something
Speaking of Germany, though, that movie that's on Netflix right now, I think it's like All Is Quiet on the Western Front. Flames. Straight flames. I definitely recommend you check that out, man. It's about like a young 18 or 19-year-old that's enlisting right before the war and whatnot. I really don't know what he's getting himself into, man. It's shot extremely. It's a little bit gory. I will say that. It's a little bit gory. But it's shot extremely well, man. Definitely check that joint out.
Gonna have to check that out. Big shout out to Coach Taylor in the building. J-Mo is here. Appreciate you stopping by, J-Mo. Kalen Dragon 56 says, bye week finally over. Let's get this dub Giants.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited, man, for some Giants football. It feels like it's been like probably about a good month since we played a game here, man. I'm definitely excited to see us play today.
And big shout out to Jay Jean. Appreciate you stopping by as always. We got Chris Peace in the building. What's going on, Chris? Always holding us down with the retweets on Twitter. And, of course, big shout out to the six-pack himself. Mr. Tudo is in the building.
That's looking like a 12-pack right there.
Yeah, I was going to say,
man.
This looks like an updated Tudo. I mean, that is Terminator-esque, man. Rambo.
Definitely big shout out to Tudo,
big
man.
shout out to Tudo. Gregory is in the building. What's going on, Gregory? Great to see you, my friend. Stan the man. What's going on, Stan?
Stan?
Top of the top, fellas. Appreciate you stopping by.
If I get another error from Facebook, bro, I'm going to blow this whole StreamYard app up right now.
They're all over the place right now. I'm just, I'm maneuvering around it. You know what I'm saying? I'm hitting it with the stutter step like that, like I'm about ready to hit the out route. Big shout out.
Dave Chappelle you.
Big shout out to Edward Squires. Appreciate you stopping by. My man Edward is in the building. Lax, Fo. What's going on, Lax? Good to see you. And Jersey is in the building.
Michael Knights. What's going on, fam? Little hoarse, man. I'm a little scratchy from last night's tequila.
Too.
Shout out to Junior.
Not from the tequila, but from the game, the screaming, the yelling. Big shout out to Mr. Mini Guy with his trademarked yo.
What up?
Appreciate you stopping by. Mike Ransom's already calling it 7-2.
That's terrible, dog.
7-2.
We're not talking baseball. We're not talking the San Francisco Giants. Shout out to Mike one time.
Big shout out to JJ Stengel.
Hey, what up, JJ?
Hey, Kenny Galladay is back on the field today, ladies and gentlemen. Back on the field today. And big shout out to
Kenny Galladay revenge game?
I don't know what the revenge is.
I don't know what that one is either, but we'll see. I hope we can get some revenge, man. This guy has 2 catches for 22 yards on the season right now, man. We need Kenny Galladay to ramp it up for real, man. Get going.
I should have put him in a sleeper section. Big shout out to Kai 001.
I'm going to say no, you shouldn't have.
One of our resident Cowboy fans. Big shout out to Kai. Sebastian is in the building as well. C-Bands never stay slacking. Lacking. I always want to say slacking.
Slack is cool too. I'm thinking that. Shout out
Big shout out
time,
to Sabrina. Always good to see you, Sabrina. Hope you're doing well. C-Band's got a quick question. Running back, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, Tyreek and Waddle, Flex, Olave, or Jonathan Taylor?
Oh, okay. So I would imagine it's pick one of each of those.
Yeah.
I like Sanders. I know the Beard's going to like Jacobs at running back. I like Sanders at running back going against the Commanders today. And the Beard's always talking about Tyreek and Waddle together, using them together. I'm going Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's been playing crazy football, man. I mean, let me go to this note because I definitely had some on him. He's in my top wide receiver category. Back-to-back weeks over 27 PPR points, man. Yeah, I'm going with Tyreek Hill. And,
I'm going to take
Flex.
Oh, yeah, you got one more.
I go Olave, man. He's been consistent.
We only disagree on one. I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I love Josh Jacobs this week. Tyreek Hill is my guy. And I'm going to have to go Olave too. It's a mess in Indianapolis right now. I feel bad for Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it's an absolute just mess. And big shout out to 12-pack himself, Mr. Two-Toe. For the $4.99 super chat says massive salutes and thanks to Awthentik and Beards for a great live show. As always, and diehard Giants fans in the chat, salute Italy.
Big salute to Italy. Salute to my man Tudo one time. He was left a comment on one of our videos too, talking about some matchups that he had this past week. I think he said he went up against his brother one time in one of those games. I think he said that. But shout out to Tudo, man. Best of luck with the rugby, brother. We appreciate you over here, fam.
Absolutely. And big shout out to Alvaro checking us out from Chile.
Hey, what up, Alvaro?
Says
Alvaro be chopping it up with us on Twitter a lot too.
Big shout out to Alvaro. We appreciate it. Oh, and by the way, got to give a big shout out to Mr. Entertainer. He had a birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep, yesterday.
So, big shout out to Entertainer. Happy birthday to that young man. We appreciate him as always. Tanner, all right, ladies and gentlemen, get your computers ready, your phones ready, or if you're on almost 40 like me, get your pen and pad ready.
Your notepad.
Because we're about ready to break down some fantasy football for everybody. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up while you guys are here on YouTube. Don't forget to tell a friend that we are giving out gems and nuggets today on the Parlay. And we're going to get things started off right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go right into our top signal callers of the week. These are our top quarterback picks in fantasy football. All right. This is going to be an interesting week, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what. Authentic. They don't call him Authentic for nothing. He's got some
Facts.
plays for his quarterbacks that, lets you know that he keeps it authentic 100% of the authentic time. So let the people know.
100% of the authentic time.
Let the people know who you got going for your best quarterback plays this week.
These three names have been pretty much in my top quarterbacks for most of the year, man. You already know Patrick Mahomes, man. I like the matchup this week going up against them Jaguars. Last week, 43 of 68, man. 446 yards. He also had 63 yards on the ground. The Beard loves quarterbacks who can run the ball. That definitely adds to the threat at the position one time. This is my problem, though, with Patrick Mahomes right now. He needs more touchdowns, bro. Just one touchdown when you threw the ball 68 times last week. You only had one touchdown through the air. He did add one on the ground. In his last 3 games, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. We got to clean that up, man. If you're going to be in Authentic's top 3, y'all know what it is. I like Jalen Hurts against the Commanders. I don't know if the Beard's going to have Jalen Hurts in his lineup. I know he's a big fan, but when he's going up against his team, and if I get another goddamn notification from Facebook, I'm going to lose my mind here. But I like Jalen Hurts going up against the Commanders. Jalen Hurts has finished outside the top 12 just once this year as far as fantasy quarterbacks go. He's second in PFF grade, third in yards per attempt, second in passer rating. He's been killing the play action. The Eagles have the 5th highest play action rate, and Jalen Hurts is number 1 in touchdowns off the play action in the NFL with 8 this year. Definitely liking Jalen Hurts in this matchup, and he's going to definitely use his legs if he has to, but he's shown that when he is forced to throw the ball, he can definitely make plays. And Josh Allen, Beard talked about Josh Allen. He's healthy. He's active. He'll be the starter in this week's game against the Vikings. They coming off a big loss to the Jets, man, and he's healthy, and that's my quarterback. So y'all know what it is. Josh Allen going to round out my top 3 fantasy quarterbacks this week.
Oh, man, you talked about quarterbacks that run. There's a guy right now. His name is Justin Fields. Justin Fields has been all over my fantasies.
Oh, yeah.
He's been a sit-em, a sleeper. He has moved his way. I mean, he broke Mike Vick's record last week of the most rushing yards by a quarterback in a NFL regular season game.
He broke that. Yep. Okay.
Broke that record. So he's on my radar. He's a must start this week. I think he might even put up the most points by a quarterback this week. He's going against the Detroit Lions. We already know how that Detroit Lions defense can be. Although they did look pretty good last week against the Green Bay Packers. Justin Fields, his last 3 games, is averaging 32 fantasy points a game. And he's done that without even crossing the 200-yard threshold of passing. So
running that rock.
I mean, if he gets into that 200-yard range in passing, Darnell Mooney looked great last week. You can tell the difference between having Chase Claypool in that lineup. Cole Kmet's come along. So, I mean, the weapons are there. And Justin Fields looks like he has been getting better week after week after week. So I love Justin Fields this week. Tua Tagovailoa is my number 2 guy this week.
Before you move to 2, I just want to throw this out there in the atmosphere. Justin Fields, man, they literally was talking about this guy being a bust.
Of course
just 3 to 4 weeks ago, man.
Of course they were.
People don't be using their eyes. I swear they just look at the box. They go, oh, he didn't throw for 200 yards. He must be garbage. The guy's not winning games, but it's like, you got to just use your eyes with Justin Fields. He's got a strong arm. He can make just about all the throws. Dare I say he is the most dangerous running quarterback when he does get into open field. This guy's running like a scat back. Like, he's not just running like a running back. He's running like one of the faster running backs. People got pumped the brakes on calling people bust. In our era, people didn't throw that word around like that. But these young boys seem to be throwing that word around like, oh, Saquon Barkley, tears his knee the following year, he's a bust. Did y'all not see the rookie year? In our era, the definition of a bust meant you were a high draft pick who produced nothing. We talking about people that actually do produce here when we talk about guys like Fields and a lot of other players that have been labeled a bust very early in their career.
I'm literally like in the process of trying to put together a video on Chase Young and the Washington fan base because I had to go through this entire thread of people, that exact situation of almost with Saquon Barkley, where wins Rookie of the Year, then gets hurt, and now he's a bust.
Yeah, and that can't be. That just can't be.
People are like, Brian Robinson got shot and he came back before you. I'm like,
children, bro, children.
And it's just incredible. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that, and I think Justin Fields is proving a lot of people wrong right now. And this next guy, Tua. I mean, a lot of people were talking about Tua.
That's what sparked me to even say it, because you got back-to-back quarterbacks in there where I'm like, they was just talking about both these guys ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, Tua can't throw the ball. Let me tell you, Tua is averaging just under 20 points per game right now. He's top 5 quarterback in back-to-back weeks, and he can't throw the ball, but he is number 1 in the NFL in yards per attempt. So
come on now.
We're going to go with Tua Tagovailoa, and then I'm going to round it off with one of the guys that Awthentik talked about in Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is averaging 26.23 fantasy points per game. He's second in quarterbacks right now with 130-plus fantasy points. And 3 of his last 4 games, he has put up 30-plus fantasy points.
Yeah, Mahomes doing his thing.
3 of the last 4 games, 30-plus fantasy points. So these 3 guys are guys that are going to give you those crazy quarterback numbers. So those are going to be our starting quarterbacks this week, who we think are going to produce the most fantasy points. Big shout out to Ronnie Rivers with the $4.99 super chat. Says, love you guys. Keep up the great work. Giants 31, Texans 24. Let's go.
I like it.
Rock Nation,
I like that 31.
Rock Nation, Fire Flame, Blue Heart, football.
Bro, the Rock Nation. Let me look at that a little closer. That's the showing you praise. That's like salute kind of vibes. Okay, Rock Nation, you'd have to kind of.
I gotta come in like I'm catching a football.
It's the Rock.
Listen, I just was kind of this was pointed out to me. So
Okay, hold on. I gotta pause you. Real quick. The Bucs just tried to throw a pass to Tom Brady and it got intercepted. What in the hell is happening in that game? That's crazy, yo. That's crazy.
What route did Tom run?
A fade route, and he fell. There's a flag on the play though. Yo, I looked up. I'm like, what wide receiver is number 12 for the Bucs? What is going on?
But I just realized that, the thank you / prayer emoji.
Oh, yeah. 2 high fives.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think it's a dual purpose emoji, kind of like how you like your quarterbacks.
Yeah. Shout out to the quarterbacks.
Facebook, I'm going to strangle you. Stop sending me these errors, man.
We're almost there. We only have 1 left that's on error.
We might be off Facebook come next week.
It's a StreamYard thing, Shout out to StreamYard. You'll get a thumbs down at the end
Shout
of
out
this
to
video.
StreamYard.
Hey, listen, if you guys have any questions, don't forget to drop those questions in the chat. We are here to answer your questions throughout the live stream. Big shout out to Ronnie. We appreciate you. And I like your Giants hat in your profile picture. It looks like a little throwback. It's a beanie, I think.
Oh, beanie vibes. I got to give me a Giants hat that got the old logo. I need something like that. I ain't got one of those.
I need a RTDB beanie for the winter, because that's
with the Giants logo on the side, blue joint, right? I got you, dog. I got you, dog.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move on to the next position. We're going to talk about the guys that carry the rock, the guys that are on the block. I am actually in the process of rewatching The Wire right now. It's so good, so good, so good. All right,
Definitely.
top running backs of the week coming up now. All right, I'm going to start this one off with a guy who Awthentik last week says it's not even fair that he's allowed to play the running back position. By a gentleman by the name of Austin Ekeler.
Oh yeah, come on, man. He is redefining what fantasy football is, I swear.
Austin Ekeler is your leading fantasy points player at the running back position thus far this year in PPR leagues. In the last 3 games, he has 5 touchdowns and 29 receptions at the running back position. So he is absolutely lighting it up. They're going to need him to play big tonight in that San Francisco game for sure. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they use him, to see if he actually runs the ball a little bit more like Awthentik was calling for last week. But I love Austin Ekeler this week. I think he comes back with another monster game. They're going to need him. No Mike Williams. Keenan Allen is still a little banged up if you ask me. So they're going to need some Austin Ekeler action. He played fantastic last week. My next 2 guys are going to be playing each other. Obviously, we talked at length on Thursday about this matchup between the New York Giants and the Houston Texans. I absolutely love Saquon Barkley and Dameon Pierce in this game. I think this is going to be a beard bowl. There's going to be a ton of RTD being in this matchup. So at least I hope, if people don't try to outsmart themselves, that wear headsets and carry clipboards. But I love Saquon Barkley and I love Dameon Pierce, both of them going up against poor run defenses. It'll be interesting to see which one of these running backs actually has the better fantasy day today. So those are going to be my top 3 running backs this week. Awthentik, tell me who you got.
I got Leonard Fournette playing quarterback out here. The Bucs are wilding. Let me tell you something crazy about Austin Ekeler, bro. I'm just looking this up right here. He's not even in the top 25 in rushing yards in the NFL. That's crazy that he's at the top of fantasy running backs, killing it in the passing game. He's not going to make my top 3 just because I like real running backs that actually run the football. I think I'm going to make a transfer from this whole PPR vibe into a standard league because PPR system is just completely flawed, but it seems to be the most popular one. I like Saquon Barkley 100% going up against the Texans. Texans have the worst rush defense in the entire NFL right now. Saquon is 3rd in rushing and 3rd in all-purpose yards. He's due for a bounce-back game. If you look at our show from Thursday when we did the previews, I talked about Saquon Barkley and how every time he's had 100 yards, it follows it with 2 weeks under 100 and also one of his worst games. So to date, so you always get that. He's coming off his worst game of the season against the Seahawks with just 52 rushing yards. I'd look for him to really bounce back. I like Nick Chubb going up against the Dolphins. The thing about the Cleveland Browns is they really don't have much that they can rely on that offense. I mean, Jacoby Brissett has been struggling passing the ball all year long. Amari Cooper's been up and down. He'll have a big game, then he'll have a serious low. Peoples-Jones over there not doing too much. So I think Nick Chubb is really going to be hottest offense moves. He's averaging 19.9 touches per game, and he's averaging 114 total yards per game as well. Right before the bye week against the Bengals, he had a big game. Don't forget, they surprised the Bengals and ended up beating them right before the bye. So they're coming off some momentum here. He had 23 rushes for 101 yards, 2 touchdowns in that Week 8 victory. And Chubb is also number 1 in the NFL in missed tackles forced, man. So he's a force to be reckoned with, definitely breaking a lot of tackles out there. I like Nick Chubb. And this guy, I saw him actually on a lot of people's lists as a person you might want to sit this week, simply because of volume. Dan, that was a nice move right there. But Miles Sanders versus the Commanders. I like Miles Sanders. He's 7th in the entire NFL in red zone touches, and he's also 7th in total touchdowns in the NFL with 6. But the Commanders right now are top 10 rush defense, man. They're sitting right at number 10, allowing 113 yards per game. So I do think it'll be a little bit tough. But I think that the Commanders' main goal is going to be to stop Jalen Hurts. Once that happens, which I do think y'all defense is going to put up a good fight today against the Eagles, I think the Eagles are going to have to rely on that run. Tomorrow, yeah, Monday night, for sure.
Don't get me excited.
I won't. Yeah, so that rounds out my top 3, man.
We do have some quick running back questions in the chat, which we'll get to. It looks like Facebook has sorted out most of their issues. So big shout out to, before we get to those, big shout out to Sebastian says, Kittle or Freiermuth?
Trying to think of the matchups too.
Kittle's against the
Chargers,
and Freiermuth is against the Saints.
I like Kittle, man. I'm going Kittle. I got Kittle in my lineup too. I need a big day from Kittle. I'm going with Kittle.
I listen. Yeah, exactly. Kittle is a guy here, but Freiermuth is also a guy. I'm going to talk about Freiermuth in a little bit, but he's definitely, this isn't as crazy as it sounds. Normally you would automatically go Kittle, but the way Freiermuth plays when Pickett is the quarterback is pretty alarming. He's actually right behind Kittle in a lot of stats when playing with Pickett at quarterback. So definitely something to keep your eye on. I think I would go with Kittle just because of the bigger play capability. Freiermuth is a guy that might get you, a couple of catches and a touchdown, but Kittle can get you 10 catches, 100 yards and a touchdown. He can put up wide receiver.
Man, if he put that up this game, I'll be ecstatic. I need it.
Big shout out to James Funk, who's checking in from Facebook, says need 2 running backs.
Facebook is that whole meta thing is janky as hell right now.
He needs 2 running backs: David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Kareem Hunt, and Jeff Wilson Jr. I'm gonna go Pollard and Wilson Jr.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Montgomery's a sit-em for me this week.
Oh, I don't know if you're adding in Najee Harris and Raheem Mostert into that mix, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 running backs. I would stick with Jeff Wilson and Tony Pollard if that's the case. Or if it's just a question of Najee Harris and Raheem Mostert, I'm going to go Najee Harris.
Ooh, if it's just Mostert and Harris, I'm going Mostert. The backup running back in Pittsburgh is actually starting to ball out now, and Harris is really having a terrible year. And if it's all 5 or all 6 of those running backs, I'd add Mostert into the mix. I like Mostert. Who were the other 3 that we had in the beginning there?
Jeff Wilson, Tony Pollard, and David Montgomery.
I'd take Wilson out. I would take Wilson out and put in Mostert.
And then it looks like we had another question that we might have missed. I don't know. I see. That's just Gregory giving us his top 3 running backs: Pollard, Barkley, and Henry. I'm not mad at that.
You got this one too.
Y'all attempt to start. Ooh, I can't do it. I knew if you're desperate, you got to, but I just don't know how much burn he's going to get off of the injury. But I mean, they got rid of Jeff Wilson, so Elijah Mitchell is going to be the guy behind, McCaffrey. So, but if you're desperate, it's not a bad play. He has big play capability. Maybe they use him in the red zone a little bit and take McCaffrey out in the red zone. So if you're desperate, I mean, it depends on how desperate is, because I know desperate when it comes to fantasy running backs at times.
I'm dealing with it. I've been dealing with it all year. I got Melvin Gordon in the lineup today. Like, it's bad.
Jerick McKinnon or Edwards-Helaire? Listen, that's super
stay
tough.
Away from them. Both. I will stay away from both of those running backs.
Betty's had running back trouble all year long.
Yeah.
I like McKinnon just because I think McKinnon does everything. He could block, he can run, he can catch. McKinnon is just, he's the definition of a Swiss Army knife. I love Jerick McKinnon. But I'm a big CEH guy. That offense is just, they don't run the ball. It's so bad. So I think
they don't commit to a guy. It seems like one week you get, good productivity from McKinnon. Another week is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's very inconsistent over there.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go McKinnon for that one. Big shout out to Lax044 for the $1.99 super chat. Should I play Josh Allen or Danny Dimes? Authentic, this is your type of question.
I'm going Josh Allen. They said he's active. He's starting. He is their offense. I think if there was something really, really lingering with his elbow injury that would, deter him from having a decent game, I don't think he'd be in the lineup, because he really is their offense. Damn, that was going to be a crazy catch. Wow. So I'm going Josh Allen. I mean, I think I have Daniel Jones in my sleeper section. I think he's going to have a big game today because Texans defense is going to be focused on Saquon Barkley. So I think that Jones will be able to see his way getting the boot, and he might be able to throw the ball pretty decent today too, man. So if you add that with the running capabilities, Daniel Jones is probably due for a big day. I don't see Josh Allen having a monster day. So if you want to take the risk with Daniel Jones, it's not a bad risk, I don't think.
I think that's an interesting way of putting it too, because if you think about it, both these guys kind of have a little bit of risk over them. Obviously, you have the risk with Josh Allen. Maybe he comes in, he starts, he plays a quarter, hits on the elbow, and he comes out for the rest of the game, sort of situation. Danny Dimes, he might only give you 190 yards and 1 touchdown, but he could also give you 100 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown or 2. And he's got a good matchup, but he could also be running the mill. So you got a little bit of risk reward on both of those guys, indeed. And big shout out to Lucas, who's watching the parlay from 40,000 feet in the air. We appreciate you. We got people checking in from planes, trains, automobiles, mobile, and the computers. So big shout out to Lucas. We appreciate you checking in. Let me make sure I don't miss any other ones. Okay, Flex 1, James Funk says, Zach Ertz, Antonio Gibson, or George Pickens. Ooh. That's tough.
Zach Ertz had a pretty good game last week.
Yeah.
Man, if Washington is smart, they're going to get a ball to Gibson more. And I have Gibson in my lineup today, too. I'll say Ertz, possibly Gibson. Definitely not George Pickens. George Pickens is like, you just don't know when he's going to have a big day.
He's either 0 or 18.
Yeah, and he's coming off 0 last week.
Yeah, I think I would personally probably go Zach Ertz. I would debate putting in Antonio Gibson. That would be my suggestion.
And Cardinals going up against the Rams, right?
Yep. Juan Pena Jr., who from my wide receiver 1 and 2, my options are Rondale Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Adam Thielen, Treylon Burks, Jarvis Landry, DeAndre Carter, and Michael Gallup.
Damn, that's tough, dog. That's tough, right? Okay, so I think I'd have to put Jerry Jeudy in the mix here. I don't know. This is super tough. I think I'd go Jerry Jeudy. And for today, I might go Adam Thielen because I feel like the Vikings are going to have to just put up a lot of points playing against that Bills defense. I think I'm going Thielen. Yeah, I think I'm going Jerry Jeudy and Adam Thielen. All of that is risky. I don't really like Treylon Burks over there, even though Tannehill is getting healthy, so that does help him out a little bit. He does seem to throw the ball better than Malik Willis does at this point in his career. Jarvis Landry coming back off that injury. Michael Gallup has been a big letdown outside his first week back. I want to say that was the only time he had a touchdown. Yeah, I think I'll go Jerry Jeudy, Adam Thielen.
I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy, Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks is also coming off an injury, which I normally don't like to play right out the gate coming off an injury. But they need somebody to step up and be a weapon for Tennessee in that passing game. So I think they're going to try and force Treylon Burks into that role. So I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy and Treylon Burks. And then Juan Pena got one more. Says Antonio Gibson, Jamal Williams, or James Conner.
Gibson.
It's so tough for me not to say Jamal Williams, but I'm also going to go Antonio Gibson. But Jamal Williams is a 1B for me for sure. I did not hear about DeAndre Swift being on a snap count yet. They said they're trying to ramp him up a little bit, so we'll see. DeAndre Swift or Darnell Mooney. That's tough.
I think I go Swift. That Lions defense, I feel like, is kind of starting to figure something out here. Their last game against the Green Bay Packers, they held the Packers to 9 points in that game. 3 interceptions on Aaron Rodgers in that one, too, man. I saw a lot of tape on that game. Aaron Rodgers in that wide receiver core is struggling. Sammy Watkins, bro, is getting owned at the line damn near every snap. On inside releases where he's supposed to be inside, he's being forced outside. I saw a bunch of snaps last week where that wide receiver core struggled. Who's the other guy over there? Lazard falling down on multiple routes, man. Kurt Warner has a great breakdown if you want to check out some insight into the Green Bay Packers offense and the Lions defense. So I think I'm going with Swift on this one, man.
I think I'm going to go with Swift too. I love Darnell Mooney, but I need to see consistency. He had that great week last week. I need to see him do one more week. I think DeAndre Swift, even if he doesn't play a whole lot, he just has that quick capability to give you like 10 points in like 5 minutes. So I think I'm going to go DeAndre Swift as well. All right, moving on to the next section of the parlay. We are going to give you ladies and you gentlemen, we are going to give you our people that are riding the bench. This is the section where Awthentik says, "Hey, you,
Wait a minute. We didn't do wide receivers yet.
Oh, my gosh. I jumped the gun.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Last week, we damn near left 4 games off the slate. It's like, yeah, it's a great show. Holla at y'all. Worry about the 4 games on your own.
All right, it's time to talk about wide receivers. I mean, there's this is going to be a, that Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle combination. They're one wide receiver now. All right, top wide receivers for this week. All right. You got Waddle Hill combo in your top 3, Authentic?
Nope. No combos. No combos.
Who you got for your top 3?
From number 29 from the Bucks, man. Running back White.
Yeah.
I mean, a mean stiff arm right there, man.
He's good.
14-3 right now. The Bucks are up on the Seahawks in that one, and they just keep showing that replay of that Tom Brady fade route interception with Fournette throwing the ball. But as far as my top 3 wide receivers, I got a bit of an honorable mention here too, so I got about 4 of them. I like Tyreek Hill versus the Browns. That's going to be my number 1 wide receiver coming off the back-to-back games. 27 PPR points right now. Dude is definitely balling out. Love Devontae Adams going up against the Colts one time. Led all fantasy wide receivers last week with 36.6 PPR fantasy points. I also like DeAndre Hopkins, man. I know the matchup is a little bit tough with Jalen Ramsey probably going to be shadowing him today in that game. He only had 5 targets last week versus the Seahawks. And I don't know if you saw the exchange that he had with Kyler Murray that went around. It was from Hard Knocks.
That, yeah.
To me, that is football. I saw a lot of people saying like, oh, man, he's chewing them out, and they're worried about that. Anybody that's ever played football and has dealt with a wide receiver that is a bit of a diva, let's call it, and wants the ball, that's the kind of attitude all wide receivers have. They've come back to the huddle. They're coming off to the sideline and whatnot. And DeAndre Hopkins is pretty much just like, yo, what are you seeing, bro? Like, you're not going to throw me the ball on this one-on-one matchup in the red zone, kind of chewed out Kyler Murray. That happens on a regular basis on every level of football that has passing. Back in my day on Pee Wee, we did not pass the ball, so you didn't have any diva wide receivers. But all the way from high school, bro, that's how wide receivers are. I love to see that kind of energy. And the thing that stood out to me is DeAndre Hopkins saying, bro, I want to win, and stressed it again. I want to win. Do not lump me into these wide receivers out here that's just trying to pad stats or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to get the W. When I see a one-on-one matchup, get me the ball. He's coming off them 5 targets. We got to ramp that up, man. DeAndre Hopkins got to get more targets today. And then my honorable mention is Cooper Kupp, number 1 in the NFL right now in target share. We already know Matthew Stafford's just been pretty much throwing that guy the ball. The Cardinals did hold Cooper Kupp to just 4 receptions on 6 targets for 44 yards in their last matchup. But in their entirety, in 9 games, Cooper Kupp averages 9 targets versus the Cardinals. I just got a gut feeling today's going to be a big day for Cooper Kupp.
I mean, Cooper Kupp, it's just he's the guy that Matthew Stafford trusts the most, and they need this game bad. So you might see like a crazy Kupp game. I totally agree. Listen, I've been told by all departments here at Authentic and The Beard that I am not allowed to do the Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle combo anymore, that it's a complete cheat code. So I had to pick one. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. He's averaged 23 fantasy points per game this year. The dude is just all over the map. It's absolutely insane. He's up there in targets, target shares, yards after catch. I mean, he's an absolute dog and a weapon. I expect another big game for him. And then last week, he finally got into the red zone. He only had 1 touchdown, I believe, going into the last week. And he finally got a touchdown. He also had 2 red zone targets. So I think I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill of my Hill Waddle must-choose one sort of situation. I'm also going to go Devontae Adams, like Awthentik talked about. It's interesting because if you look at Devontae Adams' game log, there's some big games in there. He's had maybe one. He's had the one dud game, which was the week before last. We only had like 1.3 points. But besides that, he's pretty much double digits in every single game except for one other game. So I also like Devontae Adams, and I love the matchup this week against the Indianapolis Colts. They are in a complete mess right now. And then I'm also going to go with A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown, he scares the living daylight out of me going against that Washington defense because they are prone to giving up those big plays. So I'm a little worried about A.J. Brown. Those are going to be my top 3 wide receiver picks this week. Yeah, I think Hill, Adams, I don't know. I like that. The Raiders, I think, might have a big game today. Raiders might have a big game today. Got a lot of Raiders going on in my my stuff over here, my notepad of notes.
My notepad. I like it. I like it. I like it.
All right, it is now really time. You know, it was just checking to make sure you guys weren't asleep in the audience.
A little play action.
Time. Yeah, it is time for you know, the people that just aren't cutting it, but they might get cut. So these are the people that we are sitting this week in fantasy football. All right, Coach Awthentik, who's riding the pine this week?
Like, I seen some mixed opinions on this player, but for me, I got Cortland Sutton sitting on the bench today versus the Titans. Started the year off with 5 straight games over 11 PPR points. Hasn't breached 5.3 PPR points in his last 3 weeks, man. Does lead the Broncos with 9 red zone targets, but we all know the Broncos in the red zone are a catastrophe right now. The Broncos have the worst red zone scoring percentage in the entire league, okay? They're sitting at 35%. That's how many times, or the percentage that they score in the red zone. There are only 7 teams that are under 50% in the entire NFL. They're sitting at 35%. They're the only team in the 30s. All the other ones are in the 40s. The Broncos have the 5th least amount of red zone attempts. So I always ask you this when you talk about red zone percentage. I always ask you, well, how many attempts does that team have? Now, if you're at the bottom of the league in percentage and attempts, Houston, we have a real problem here. And in this case, it's Denver. We definitely got a problem. So Cortland Sutton is sitting on my bench. I'm also putting David Montgomery on the bench, man, versus the Lions here. 36 rushing yards on 14 carries last week. And Khalil Herbert didn't do much better. He had 7 rushes for 23 yards. Seems like Justin Fields is stealing some touches. The thing about Montgomery is you never really know. He could have a big game. I mean, I'm not saying that he won't perform, but for me, he's going on the bench because of inconsistency this year. And then third is going to be a wide receiver for them Pittsburgh Steelers, man. George Pickens, I'm putting him on the bench. 0 receptions on 3 targets last week versus the Eagles. The Eagles do have a good defense. Outside of weeks 4 and 5, he scored over 7 PPR points just 1 time. So he had that little run week 4, week 5, and that's about it.
It's tough with him. We talked about it earlier. 0 or 18 from that guy. That's what it feels like. So for me, party's over in Minnesota. Okay, you know the rappers, the Minneapolis rappers have left. Listen, you know what's funny is we've been talking about these Minneapolis raps, right? And then I got to look at Kirk Cousins on an airplane with 3 chains. 3 chains.
3 chains, for sure.
So listen. I'm putting Kirk Cousins on the bench. Party's over. Party is over, Kirk.
Party's over for Kirk Cousins?
Party is over for Kirk Cousins this week.
I'm sending an email to the editing department right now. This is going to be a great one here in a couple hours.
I got a feeling that Kirk Cousins is coming back down to earth against this Buffalo Bills defense.
And Kirk Cousins lives on earth. He's never like out of the atmosphere or anything like that. He lives on earth. He's the definition of average.
I got no love for Kirk Cousins this week. Up next, James Conner. James Conner was an absolute touchdown machine last year. This year he's been banged up. Arizona's offense is super inconsistent, all over the place. Eno Benjamin looks like a better running back right now to me in Arizona. I just don't know where the offense is going to go right now. So I'm going to bench James Conner. And last but certainly not least, LaRon Landry. I love LaRon Landry going into this season. And he's just coming back from injury. He worries me. I know a lot of times when these guys come off of injury, you've been waiting to play them. And you're really eager to play them. But I always side with the ear of caution. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm going to say it like that. I side with the ear of caution and playing an injured player right off the break. I got to see a little bit more action. So LaRon Landry is going to sit on my bench. Before he got hurt, he had like 3 single-digit PPR points in a row before he got hurt. He only had 1 good game. That was the first week of the season. Chris Olave has stepped up as a guy there, and Alvin Kamara has been playing really great football as of late. So I think I'm going to bench LaRon Landry. Those are the guys riding a pine for the beard this week.
Touchdown by Tom Brady over here to Godwin. The Bucks go up 21-3 right now. Just a real quick little intermission on the fantasy real quick. I just want to know your thoughts on something. What does that say about Seattle?
Germany.
Chalk it up to Germany.
Germany.
We talked about the schedule and all that stuff in the NFC, a couple of shows back and whatnot. I just really think that there are not that many good teams in the NFC.
There's not.
Like
I told you that in the beginning of the year.
You got the Seahawks looking like one of the better teams in the NFC, and they're losing to the 4-5 Bucks right now by a mile. That game's over pretty much. I mean, I don't see Geno Smith coming back doing nothing crazy. It just feels like maybe we're overinflating the quality of not only teams but players in the NFC as well, man. Like these matchups, man. You got the Seahawks going over here to just get their butt whooped by the Bucks. I could have never called this like this. I thought it would have at least been a close game.
I think sometimes you just run up against a buzzsaw, and we talked about this a little bit off air. How even though Tampa Bay is not playing very well, even though Tampa Bay's record's not very well, the talent is still there. Not just offensively, but defensively too. They got a lot of great guys on that defense.
And they did get healthy. Their defense got healthy. Most importantly, they got a couple guys back in the lineup this week too.
And I think with Seattle, if they can't run the ball, they got problems offensively. I think a lot of their progression has come since Kenneth Walker has taken over at that running back position. It allows so much more offensively in the game plan for Geno Smith, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf. So I think that it's important for them to be able to run the ball.
Yeah, definitely.
And Tampa Bay's run defense appears to be doing very well. Last I checked, Kenneth Walker had like 3 points for me. So gonna need some late game backdoor fantasy points, please. Thank you, Seattle. Appreciate that. Up next, it is time to give you the guys that will win you either some money or some games because nobody else knows about them, or they do and they just are not playing them. This is our top sleepers for this week in fantasy football. Shout out to Laylo. I don't know if Laylo's around, but I'm going to just give you a trio of Las Vegas Raiders right now.
Really?
Trio of Raiders. Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and it is Return of the Mac.
Okay.
No. Mac Hollins is one of my sleepers at the wide receiver position. No Darren Waller. No Hunter Renfrow. So looks like the Mac attack is back, Jack. Mac Hollins has 5 targets at least over the last 3 games. I expect Mac Hollins to put up some big numbers this week, as well as Josh Jacobs and Derek Carr. That Indianapolis Colts, listen, if you got a Raiders, play them. Raiders defense is like one of my go-to plays. That was the first thing I picked up on the waiver wire this week was Raiders defense, because it is a absolute mess in Indianapolis right now. So those are some of my sleepers. I'm also going to go Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy has 7 or more targets each of the last 3 games. Pat Freiermuth, tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we talked about, with Kenny Pickett in the lineup. He is number 4 in usage in tight ends in the National Football League. He averages 12 points and 7 targets with Kenny Pickett. And then Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's another guy. It's kind of like Justin Fields. He's been all over my starts, my sits, my sleeps. I got him in a sleeper situation this week. He's averaging 17.8 fantasy points per game over the last 4 games. So those are my fantasy sleepers for this week. Authentic. Who you got taking a power nap this week?
A power nap. Kenneth Walker just got a screen, took it about 20 yards. Hope that helps you out a little bit there. Sleepers, I'm starting off with Daniel Jones right off the bat versus the Texans, man. They're going to be focused on Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones should have a big day today. Coming out of the bye, he should feel even a little bit more comfortable in this passing attack with the New York Giants. And right now, Daniel Jones, man, he's averaging 8 carries for 45 yards a game. I mean, that right there, you add that with some passing stats, Daniel Jones should be definitely a sleeper in today's matchup. I also like, and I've been struggling if I'm going to put this person in my lineup, but I like Kadarius Toney's matchup versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mecole Hardman is out for this game. Kadarius Toney, he caught his 2 receptions from the slot in Week 9 on 9 snaps from the slot. And also the Jaguars, their slot cornerback, Darius Williams, he's faced the second most targets in the entire NFL as far as coverage in the slot with 41. So I like Kadarius Toney's matchup. I don't know if he's going to be able to break out this week. I saw that Tony Gonzalez on the Amazon Prime broadcast last week was talking about Kadarius Toney. We know he's probably got a little bit of insight into the Kansas City Chiefs locker room, and he seemed like he was extremely high on Kadarius Toney. So I like Kadarius Toney in this matchup. I also like Cole Kmet, tight end for the Chicago Bears, going up against the Lions. Over the past 2 weeks, he's averaging 1.5 touchdowns and 13.8 PPR points, man. I think he's ramping up along with Justin Fields. So that could be a nice little stack. If you got Justin Fields in your lineup, Cole Kmet is probably not like extremely owned in leagues like that. I'm sure there is some demand for him out there right now with the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks. But I like Cole Kmet. And another tight end, man, I like rookie tight end Greg Dulcich as well, man. Led the Broncos in receiving yards last game with 4 receptions, 87 yards on 5 targets in Week 8. That was right before the bye. Started the year with a hamstring injury, but he's been in the lineup the last 3 weeks, and he's been impressive, man. A great start to his career as a rookie. So I like Greg Dulcich a lot. And then y'all always know I'm on the cusp of going out there and getting players before they hop on everybody else's radar. I was looking around in free agency in my fantasy league. Deshaun Watson, he's out there, bro. This is the week to go get him. If you got an extra spot on your bench or you got somebody, that's a little bit expendable that you could just go out there and release, I'd go get Deshaun Watson right now. If you're having any kind of trouble at the quarterback position, he's not on people's radars yet. Nobody's talking about him yet. He won't be back next week. He'll be back the week after that. And if you need a quarterback down the stretch, he could probably give you a couple of good games. There's talent at the wide receiver position in Cleveland. You got Mari Cooper over there, as the Beard was just talking about, as one of his sleepers, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, 2 very capable wide receivers. So I like Deshaun Watson coming out of that suspension.
Shout out to the tight end position. A lot of tight ends in that sleeper.
Yeah, you like that,
thing.
right?
Yeah. Marge Bomb. Kyler Murray is highly unlikely to play today. Who's their backup? Colt McCoy?
Their backup. Yes, sir. Colt McKizoy. Hopefully he's out there. He could do some damage. Colt McCoy in his last spot when he had to fill in for him, he threw for 300 yards, man.
Maybe I'm rethink that James Conner benching.
Yeah, because they're probably going to try to rely on that run heavy. You already know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to wrap up our sleepers, our starters, our benchers. It's time now. I don't know. Shout out to the sound department if we got some rapid fire sound effects.
We got to kill 2 birds with 1 stone over here on Awthentik and The Beard. It's about efficiency, man. Come on, brother.
Rapid fire. Pew, 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 pew. You know what? I just need to get like one of, like a rapper ad lib. You know how they be doing?
Oh, yeah.
Rapid
yeah,
fire.
those are starting to become a thing of the past. Those and trap hi-hats, man, those are kind of going away now, man.
What's the new
now
thing?
You're getting the reverbed ad libs now. That's the new thing. If you listen to
like
did you no, not like that. Definitely not like that. Did you see the Eli Manning rap stuff going on?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious, by the way. But I do think the Giants community is kind of putting Eli on a rap pedestal that I mean the bars from him and what was that, Sean O'Hara?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a 3 out of 10. It's kind of bad.
I mean the outfit though.
I'm not up on this new swag. The outfit from Sean O'Hara, bro, he looked like he was like in a Teletubby uniform. I mean, but supposedly these brands, these new youngins is rocking. That's their vibe. That's their vibe. So I'm not hating on fashion is one thing. I can hate on the raps all day. The fashion, I'm not gonna hate on the fashion. It was very furry though. It was very furry.
Very furry. Very furry.
Yeah, definitely very furry. But I give him a 3. I give Eli a 4. Sean O'Hara, you can't be rhyming on a double time 60 BPM, 120 BPM type of beat and be waiting on the bar like that. He had bars that were like 3 words long. Come on, dog. We can do better than that. We can do a lot better.
You holding them to a real high standard.
Hey, if you're gonna step out there and try to start rapping, bro, you better start rapping. Straight up.
Oh man, Eli Manning. Listen, Eli Manning and Peyton Manning. You want to talk about guys that found a way to do it after playing football without having to do like the traditional 4:00 slot on like CBS.
Yeah,
like
the Tony
football.
Romo vibes.
Yeah, they're killing it. They're absolutely
they're definitely killing it. And Eli gave you one of these. He wanted like he was out the night. I don't. Somebody we got to send out an email to PR. Eli, I don't know, man. I don't know, brother. The internet seemed to love it. Hey, it's a new day and age, man. New day and age.
New day and age. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to give you guys the winners, the losers, the spread coverers, the overs, and the unders.
The spread coverers, the bed spread.
What do they call the fancy bedspreads? Josie made us get one, but they're the pain in the you know what to try and put inside the little like bag that cover duvets.
Oh, the duvet cover. Okay, I got you.
I hate that. Like no person who lives by themselves will ever own a duvet because you can't do that by yourself. You gotta it's tough, man. Trust me. I done it. I tried it. Try to be the good husband, get the duvet cover on while wifey is passed out on the couch, and I'm sitting up there like sweat beating down my head, like just it's not right. But like, you know, I kind of swindle it so that it at least looks good and she won't really notice until she's like in the bed asleep. And then I can just be like, oh, no, you know, the way you was sleeping, it kind of got tangled up. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all the single people out there with duvet covers. It's
if it was up to me, I would never cover my bed. Never.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first game on the slate is going to be the Motown Lions. They're headed to Chicago to Justin Soldier Fields. The Chicago Bears are 3-6, and they're 2.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is a surprising 48.5 for a Chicago Bears game. That's insane. So, Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I'm taking the Lions, man, outright. I don't even see why the Bears are favored. I know Justin Fields has been playing some better football here. I think the Lions are the better team with the worst record. This might be a case where, you are what your record is not accurate. I'm going with the Lions outright, and I'm taking under.
I think it's a good game, but I'm also taking the Lions. I think this is the game the Lions finally actually win. That over-under scares me a lot. I think I'm going to take the under also. I don't think it's, like, disgusting, but 48.5 seems like a lot of points. So I'm also going to take the under in that game. Speaking about disgusting.
Before you move on, I'm making a switch. I'm taking the over. You saw my tweet about why I should have picked the Panthers on Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
Everything was telling us we should have picked the Panthers, that Atlanta skated away with a sneaky stealing of victory from them in the first matchup, and it was obvious the Panthers were the better team. In this one, why I'm going to take the over, Vegas is on it. Detroit Lions, that defense, they've had one decent game like I talked about against the Green Bay Packers, but the defense ain't that good, and their offense is putting up big numbers. So Justin Fields should be able to score some points today. I want to switch that. I'm going to take the Lions in a victory, but I want to take the over on that.
So I should take the over too then, right?
Hey, you're your own man, Mr. Beard.
I'm going to take the under. We're going to get it to 48 points exactly.
Ooh, I like that.
Up next, Cleveland Browns. They are 3-5. They headed down to South Beach. South Beach. The Dolphins are 6-3 and 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 49. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give me the Miami Dolphins. Give me the Miami Dolphins minus 3.5. And I'm going to take the under 49 here. I think Miami puts up the points. I don't know if Cleveland necessarily puts up the same amount of points in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland's going to have a big game, similar to what they did against the Bengals. So I think they'll compete early on, but I'm with you on this one, man. Give me the Dolphins, 3.5. That's definitely enough. And 49, I'm going to take the under.
Take the under?
Yeah.
All right. 3 Chains and the Minnesota Vikings are headed to Buffalo. The Vikings are 7-1. The Bills are 6-2 and 6.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 45. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
This is my game of the week, man. This is a matchup between two of the better teams in the NFL.
The only one with 2 winning records.
And there's not a lot of winning records going around the league right now, too. But I think the Vikings are going to put up a good fight, man. It wouldn't surprise me if they win this game. The Bills are going to be playing with a little bit of urgency, man, coming off that loss to the Jets, man. You cannot lose to the Bills. Their record is surprising overall. You know, they seem like a team that should only have one loss or maybe a record kind of like the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe sitting at 8-0. But I'm going to go with my gut here. Give me the Bills in this one, man. I think they'll cover the 6.5, and I'll take the over in this one.
I am also going to take the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to cover, and I'm going to take the under 45 in this one.
Watch the Vikings win that game, though. Watch. TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, there's some ways I could see it, but I think 3 Chains got 3 turnovers today.
3 Chains get 3 turnovers today? Okay.
Yeah, and then
really not feeling your boy Kirk Cousins, man. He's got 3 straight games with multiple touchdowns, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, we hit that point of the roller coaster where it kind of like stops, and then it's like,
okay.
Just for this game, though, maybe. I love Buffalo's defense. And I don't know how healthy Josh Allen really is. So I think that defense is going to be relied upon big in this game.
I feel like the Bills are missing somebody on defense too.
Jordan Poyer,
Tre'Davious White. Yeah, I think he's not active.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Von Miller,
Josh Allen with the messed up elbow, all that.
Von Miller's coming for 3 Chains.
That's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna keep that game open.
He's Deboing.
Better tuck your chains in, Kirk Cousins. My bike.
Oh, man.
You know what my favorite part about that scene is, though, before we move on? He's like, so Red pulls up with his father when he's trying to get the bike back, right? And Debo looks at his father and he goes, "You want some of this, old man?" No. Got his ass right back in the car. I love that scene right there, dog. He looked at him. Then he said to his son, "I told y'all we shouldn't have been coming out here trying to get this bike back."
I got to meet Debo, rest in peace, at Wheaton Plaza.
Oh yeah, I do remember when you told me about
that.
He
was there for like a Moco Sport or a Mecca.
One of them old school brands.
Yeah, little shindig thing at Shredders.
Oh, good old Shredders, man. Great place.
Yeah, shout out to all the Moco heads, Wheaton heads, Silver Spring heads know about Shredders and Wheaton Plaza.
Ooh, Tom Brady with an interception right there. 21-9, Bucks up on that one.
How much time's left?
6:24 left in the fourth quarter, so a touchdown here can make this a game.
Let's go, Kenneth Walker. Tyler Lockett, one of the two, you guys, do something. Make some noise. Up next, the Denver Broncos, let's ride, are 3-5. They are headed to Nashville, Tennessee. The Titans are 5-3. They're 2.5 points favorites. The over-under in this game is at a disgusting 39 points.
Ooh.
Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This one's tough for me.
This one's tough.
Because listen, I was high on the Broncos early on, but I got off the ride when things started getting a little crazy. Tennessee, I wasn't high on, but they've been playing a lot better football. They got Derrick Henry. Tannehill might be back. I mean, the Tennessee Titans defense has been playing really good, but the Broncos defense is really good too. I'm going to take the Titans to win. The Titans are going to win by 1 point, and we're going to get under 39.
I'm going to go opposite. I'm taking the Broncos in this one, and I'm going to take the over in this one, man. I saw people clowning my man Russell Wilson at the last press conference. They were like, man, that was the most unmotivated let's ride he ever said all season. He was like, let's ride. Walked away. I think we're really going to ride today. We're going to see, man. We're going to see. But I like the Broncos in this matchup, man. Titans probably going to try to run the ball all day, man. The goal for the Titans here is to keep Russell Wilson in that offense on the sideline. So if Derrick Henry has a big day, Titans will win this game. But I look for that Broncos defense to limit, I'll say, Derrick Henry.
Up next, it is the 2022 RTDB Bowl. The Houston Texans, 1-6-1, looking like an area code, headed to New York to face the Giants, who are 6-2. We almost forgot about that 6-2 New York Giants during a bye week. The Giants are 4.5-point underdogs. The over-under is a sneaky 41. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Man, I'm going to need a big game from Daniel Jones in this one, man. A lot of people in the Giants community have been talking about this. Carl Banks and Bob Papa talked about it. It'd be nice to see the Giants win a game where they actually control the game, you know, and not go into the fourth quarter with a deficit, trying to play from behind and trying to come back and get another victory. I do think that this is the game where the Giants will control it. They're going to have to stop Dameon Pierce early, force Davis Mills to throw the rock around, and that force that to be their way to win the game. I'm going with my Giants in this one, man. I think the Giants are going to cover that 4.5, and I'm going to take the over. I'd look for the Giants to get probably their highest output of offense as far as scoring goes in this game. I think 27 is the highest we've scored all season. I'd look for the Giants to maybe get close to 30 in this one. I'm going to take the Giants like 29-12 in this one for real. So, yeah.
All right. I'm going to take my Houston Texans to cover the 4.5. I think the Giants win this game by 3 points. I'm also going to take the over. I think Saquon Barkley and Dameon Pierce combined for 400-plus total yards of offense in this game.
Okay. I'm going to take the under on that 400.
Take the under?
Yeah,
400
I think Saquon's
total
going to be
yards.
around 90, 95 on the ground. 35, 40, and 35 in the passing game. Look for more screens from the Giants today, man. They kind of have abandoned the screens in the last couple weeks.
Maybe I overdid it with 400. Let's say
350.
All right, so I have to say it again so the editing department can clip it. Saquon Barkley and Dameon Pierce will combine for over 345 yards of total offense.
I thought you were going to add more.
Kevin said.
My Houston Texans. Yup.
Shout out to Cernog. I know he's been under the weather. I hope you're feeling good.
A Texans fan, a Bengals fan. He low key.
Jaguars. Don't forget the Jaguars.
Oh, can't forget the Jags.
Speaking about the Jaguars are 3-6. They're headed to Kansas City. Shout out to the graphics department. That's a clean one right there.
I like it.
Jaguars are 3-6. Chiefs are 6-2. Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is a 51 burger. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover the 9.5 points. Kansas City will probably win. I think I'm going to take the under 51 in this game.
These are those kind of spots for the Kansas City Chiefs where you feel like they should put up big numbers and they should control the game, and then you look up and they're down by 7 in the third quarter. I'm going to just go with my initial instinct here. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to take the over. Yes, we going to get there to that 51, and I think the Chiefs will cover that 9.5.
All right, up next, this is a ugly game when I'm looking at it in the ticker. The New Orleans Saints are 3-6. They're headed to Pittsburgh, who's 2-6. In what year? This is like where we have thought that the Saints and Steelers would be a combined 5-12.
It's awful.
This is a pick'em game. Vegas said, "Listen, I don't know which one of these teams sucks more, so you guys pick."
Touchdown
the over
Seattle
under.
Seahawks on 4th and 1.
Who was it?
It's not your boy. Good one.
The over-under in this game is a disgusting 39.5. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what to do here.
Take the Saints, man.
I'll take the Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers to win this game. Kenny Pickett has a big game. I'm going to go under 39.5.
I'm going to take the Saints, but I'm going to go over. Saints got some power on that offense, man. And Andy Dalton, when he has time, he can play pretty decent football. I think the Saints win the game pretty convincingly, too. I'd say by about 10. I'm going to take the over.
Oh, man, that one's tough. Okay, speaking of ugly and area codes, our next game, the Indianapolis Colts are 3-5-1. They're headed to Vegas. They're headed to Vegas at a wrong time because that horseshoe is not lucky that you see on the screen. The Vegas Raiders are 2-6. Jesus, they're 4-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 41. Kickoff is at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Jeff Saturday's first game, man. This a lot of pressure on him, and I think people might be giving him a little bit, too much flack for what's going on. He didn't hire himself, man.
Yeah,
he just got the job, right? I think they're going to come out here. Saturday's going to rely on the coaching staff that's already implemented within the Indianapolis Colts.
Fired them all too.
Reggie Wayne is still there. Reggie Wayne is still there. He's a pivotal piece over there. I think the Colts are going to surprise people in this one. I'm going to take the Colts to win this game. Are the Raiders are favored by 4? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts, man, outright. And I think the 41, we're not going to get there, though. This is going to be an ugly game, like 20-12, maybe something like that.
If the Colts win this game, Josh McDaniels gets fired and is the offensive coordinator in New England by the end of next week.
Oh, yeah, the Raiders had that interim head coach last year, Biscotta or whatever his name is.
They should have kept him.
They should have kept him.
100% should have kept him.
He earned respect from the locker room too, man.
Yeah.
And that team should have been awful last year with everything they had going on, off the field as well.
Yeah, that being said, like I said, if the Colts win, Josh McDaniels gets fired.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But I am going to take the Raiders in an absolute blowout. I think the Raiders win by multiple touchdowns.
Sam Ehlinger at quarterback again?
Yeah.
He struggled last last game they had. He struggled. I mean, I think they put up 3 points. Yeah, they got beat 20-3. Ugh.
I'm going to take the under 41. I don't think the Raiders score 41, but I don't think the Colts can score more than 6 points in this game. So I'm going to take the Raiders to cover the 4, and I'm going to take the under 41. Up next, according to our very own Marjorie with the Marge Bomb, Kyler Murray. Okay, if you guys haven't already seen the quarterbacks turned into women photos,
oh man, that
thing
is hilarious.
It is a fantastic time.
Yo, I felt extremely uncomfortable looking at that.
Okay, you want to know what's even funnier? I saw somebody take those and then on the top of each one put how many drinks it would take.
Oh man, terrible.
It is so
terrible.
Funny.
Terrible. The Lamar Jackson one, bro, I think was the funniest one to me, talk.
The Kyler Murray one, man.
Kyler Murray.
They had it I almost called them the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, they're 3-6. They're headed to LA to face the Rams, who are 3-5. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites. The over/under in this game is 39.5. If you would have ever thought that the Rams and Cardinals from, say last year, you said Rams Cardinals over/under 39.5, you would be like, I would bet the farm. Shout out to Frank the Tank on the over at 39.5 with those two teams. But these two teams are struggling right now. And the Rams, Matthew Stafford, concussion protocol. Kyler Murray might not play. I don't even know where to go. Give me the Rams to cover, and I'm going to take the over 39.5. There's no way these two teams score less than 39 points.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm definitely taking the over as well. I think, man, no Kyler Murray really changes my opinion on this game. Yeah, give me the Rams to cover, man. Just give me the Rams to cover. I'll take the over.
That's going to be an interesting game to watch. And you want to talk about interesting games to watch? The last of the 4 o'clock games, the Dallas Cowboys are headed to Lambeau Field, where the football gods are in the nosebleeds. Now, Awthentik asked for the football gods when we talked about this game on Thursday. The Cowboys are 6-2. They're 4-point favorites. They're headed to Green Bay, who is 3-6. The over/under in this game is 4.5, which kind of surprised me a little bit. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
I told you all about a lot of the tape I was looking at for the Packers, especially in that Kurt Warner segment, man. And I think they're cooked, man. And Kurt Warner said the same thing in his video. He said, dating back a couple of weeks, he thought the Packers were cooked because of the way that passing game is moving. They just don't have any weapons at the wide receiver position, man, and there's just no chemistry there. I know that it's going to be a point of emphasis for them, or it has been a point of emphasis for them throughout the week, man, to try to get this passing attack going. And you got to get the ball to Aaron Jones, man. They've been neglecting him. They got to get the ball to their best playmaker. I think they keep it close in this one, man, but I got to keep it real on this one. I think the Cowboys are going to take care of business here. I'm going to take the over in this one, and I think the Cowboys are going to cover the 4.
We both picked Packers on Thursday.
In a prayer, yeah.
I don't know. I think the Cowboys will probably win this game. But because of the way that my hat matches this graphic, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers today. Green Bay Packers in an upset. If you don't believe me, then just take the Green Bay Packers +4. That over-under, I'm going to go over.
Yeah, if you take the Packers to win, you got to go over.
Packers rookie wide receiver Christian Watson goes over 100 yards and a touchdown today.
Absolutely not.
Book it.
Absolutely not. This will be a funny clip if that happens, but absolutely not. And the Packers, man, we can't forget they lost 5 straight games now. Are they really going to lose 6 straight games? We'll see, man.
It's going to be interesting. Up next, Sunday Night Football. The Los Angeles Ecklers head to San Francisco to face the 49ers. Shout out to the graphics department. I love that.
I really think that the 49ers have some of the ugliest colors in the NFL. Just want to throw that out there.
But I like it, that 90s. It just shout outs 90s to me.
Sometimes I look at the SF logo and I'm like, is that really their logo? That's what it looks like? Like
they used to have the minor though.
They had a minor. I did like in the 90s, they had a different look
49.
where 49ers was written out. I like that. Looked a little kind of like them 90s Zach Morris kind of pants that have those weird patterns on them. It kind of had that kind of a look. Reminds me of the Ricky Waters days in San Fran.
I was just going to say, what was my man's name? Merton Hanks?
Oh, yeah, Merton Hanks. Yeah.
Ricky Waters.
Beast of safety, yup.
Man. That was when they had like the shadow box numbers.
Mm-hmm. And they had the black. You remember they had the black tops. Those were dope, man.
What was the other quarterback? Jeff Garcia was there for a little.
Oh yeah, Garcia was there for a little bit.
Action,
yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is surprising to me. The 49ers are 7.5-point favorites. This doesn't seem right. Something smells fishy.
Yeah, something definitely smells fishy.
Give me the Chargers. And I'm going to take the over 45.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers outright, and I'll take the over 45 too, man. Right now, you need to see Justin Herbert ramp it up and show you that he's a playoff type of quarterback. They cannot fall short again. We've seen this now for 2.5 seasons where they start off pretty decent. They look like they're kind of on their way to the playoffs, and then you have a team kind of fall apart around the quarterback. They got to find a way to keep this thing going. I don't know if they're getting healthy. I know Keenan Allen did play last week, but I don't know what's going on with Mike Williams. Is Mike Williams still out?
No, he's out.
He's out, yeah. So they got to get healthy, and they got to find a way to win these type of games, just like this one. But I'm going to pick the Chargers in this one for sure.
All right, moving on to Monday Night Football. And the best team in the National Football League, the Washington Commanders, are 4-5. They're headed to Philadelphia to face the Eagles, who apparently haven't lost a game yet or something like that. The Eagles are a whopping Deshaun Jackson favorite. The over-under in this game is 43.5 points. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I'll tell you what I got, man. Washington's going to cover 11. That's for a divisional game. That's too high. Washington should at least cover. I'm a prey to the football gods. New York Giants need y'all to win this game, straight up. I mean, I think it's kind of, lose-lose situation here because if y'all win, y'all kind of pressing us out for that wild card position there. But I also want to see the Eagles come back down to earth, man. I'm trying to win this division, and the Giants got to just take care of our business. That's what's most important. So I think Washington can cover. Scott Turner, you got to come out here with a great game plan, man. RTDB all day long. You got to run this damn ball, and you got to keep Jalen Hurts on the sidelines. That's going to be the formula to success here. 11, that's a little bit too much. 43.5, I think we're going to get over that, actually. So I do think we're going to get there. But give me the Eagles to win this game.
Listen, there is a very strong possibility that the Philadelphia Eagles win this game 42-0. Okay, let's just be perfectly honest with ourselves. There's a lot going on in Washington. We don't know what Taylor Heineke we're going to get. We don't know what Scott Turner we're going to get. We don't know what defense we're going to get. My gut tells me, though, that this is a trap game for the Philadelphia Eagles. My gut tells me that This is the Washington Commanders beating the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night when the Pittsburgh Steelers were undefeated. Even though the Philadelphia Eagles are a 10 times better team than that Pittsburgh team was when they were undefeated. I think they were, 10-0, 11-0 at that point?
10-0, yep.
10-0. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders in an upset. This might be the last time I pick the Commanders until we play the Giants.
You've been saying that for about 5 weeks.
I'm going to take the under 43.5. If
under.
Washington
Jahan
wins
Dotson
this
back
game,
in the lineup today, too.
Yes, Jahan Dotson will be back, which is huge for us. Still no Chase Young, but he's getting closer. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes and unfolds. I mean, I saw flashes of them being able to stop the Eagles in their first matchup, but I also saw flashes of the Eagles just mollywopping the Commanders. So it's just going to be interesting to see what happens in this game. On the beat right out, too.
You like that, right? You like that?
I do. I do like that. Shout out to everybody in the chat who says they got gut feelings about Washington, too.
Yeah, I see a bunch of people saying that. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I think Washington can compete, man. Like, we haven't seen a lot of divisional games in the NFC East so far, man. And this is now y'all's second matchup against them. So there is some tape there. Y'all kind of know what you got to do. It's just, can you do it? You know, Jalen Hurts is definitely going to be a problem for that defense for sure. But Washington's defense has been playing well. Top 10 right now in rushing defense, man. Pass defense is coming around a little bit. Maybe they can, you know, we saw the Texans go out here on Thursday night and put up a good fight against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I mean, I'm still a little bit in limbo about the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, are they a powerhouse team that deserves to be like #1 in power rankings? I'm not too sure yet. We've talked about their schedule, man. They've played a bunch of cupcake teams. Let's keep it funky. And they don't really got a bunch of good teams they got to play throughout for the rest of the season. So we'll see, man. They could be – a lot of people were comparing the Philadelphia Eagles to last year's Dallas Cowboys team. Great record. I think the Dallas Cowboys won 12 games. Went to the playoffs, got their bye or whatever. First round, you're out of here. Get up out of here. Same thing could happen to the Eagles because – everything is going well for them. I think it would benefit the Philadelphia Eagles to lose a game or two before they get to the playoffs. It'll
be interesting. That matchup they have upcoming against Dallas, what's that, Christmas Eve, I think? That's going to be an interesting matchup for them. But I think that, you know, they still don't really have anybody else outside of the division for the rest of the year, right? I can't remember who we talked about it the other day, but I don't think they have like any other real big games outside of the division for the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, it's tough,
it's gonna be up to us. NFC East.
in division, we got to take care of them. Each team got to beat them at least once.
That would be ideal. And the only way that that's gonna happen is if we win on Monday night.
Yeah, so, y'all got to do that.
It's gonna be a doozy. Buccaneers are 5-5 now. Seahawks have officially lost that game. Is that correct? Tua or Daniel Jones? Not a question. Tua Tagovailoa.
Don't you dare disrespect my quarterback like that.
Daniel Jones isn't a bad fantasy quarterback because of the rushing yards. And I mean, we already know that the Texans give up 180 plus yards a game on the ground. So I'm not mad at playing Daniel Jones. It's just Tua is so damn hot right now.
Yeah, Tua's playing. He's 6-0 as a starter for the Miami Dolphins, so he's been balling. They definitely winning games with him in the lineup.
What a great year. Tua and Hurts backing up after the year that Herbert and Burrow had last year. All four of those quarterbacks coming out the same class. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. And that little nervous kind of jitter just kicked in with it being 12-24 right now. Kind of like, here go my Giants at 1 o'clock, man. These are always roller coaster of a game, man. And my emotions are always all over the place, man.
Yeah, well, listen, this might be the game that you've been hoping for. Nice little control all the way through, or you might be on the edge of your seat until that fourth quarter, buddy.
Another fourth quarter comeback from the New York Giants. Hey, as long as just get the dub. Most importantly, just get the dub.
Only Twitter will tell.
If the Giants come out here and lose to the Texans, you know that everybody been running with this whole the Giants are the worst, whatever team when our record presents itself. They're the worst 5-2 team, worst 6-2 team, worst this, worst that, right? They really going to be talking about that if the Giants lose to a team that has one win on the season. The Giants are going to come back down to earth as far as the media goes if we lose this game. So to me, can't fall for the trap. This is a must-win game. And not because it's some big game.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games on your schedule that you got to take care of. You got to take care of this.
Yeah, you got to prove it to people too. So it's an interesting take on this game, and
not a lot of people going to talk about this if the Giants win. Watch.
No.
It's going to get brushed over if the Giants win. But if they lose.
Especially if they win like how they've been winning the games and have to come back in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they won't be talking about this one too much. So hopefully we come out here, control this, and really take care of business. Here's another one from Simon one time too. Says Chris Olave or Deebo Samuel.
Deebo's coming back. I love Olave. Yeah. Olave's in my lineup. That's tough. I'm gonna go Deebo Samuel.
I'm gonna go Chris Olave. He's been proving it, man. He's been the number one target in that offense over there with the Saints, man. I played against him last week too, man, and had a really close fantasy game because of him, man. He's definitely doing his thing. I like Olave, but Deebo Samuel won't hurt you. Starting him in the lineup as well. I see Bryce says that he believes this will be Jones' first 300-yard game. Texans will overcompensate for Barkley and Jones running, which that's how the Seahawks definitely controlled that game. They took care of Daniel Jones as far as running the ball. Daniel Jones didn't see much success running the ball, but it's this style of offense that Brian Dable and the New York Giants run. It's going to be hard for Daniel Jones to put up 300 yards. Like where did the big plays come from in the passing game? Darius Slayton, getting Kenny Galladay back, maybe.
All right, let's do that before we close things out. I'm gonna play a little over under with Mr. Awthentik.
Okay.
All right. Kenny Galladay, over or under 4 catches today?
Push.
4 catches. Okay. Over or under 65 yards today?
Under.
Kenny Galladay. Under. Okay. Over or under half of a touchdown?
Tall. Kenny Galladay's been with us for a long time and still don't have a touchdown. I'm not saying he has a touchdown. I'm going to take the under on the touchdown.
Saquon Barkley, over or under 99 yards?
I'll go over.
Rushing, over.
Yeah, okay. I'll go over. Even though I said 90 earlier in the show, I'll take the over.
Wan'Dale Robinson,
under.
Over or under?
I don't care what it is. Under. They've been locking that man up.
Oh, this is a good one. Here we go. We'll close with this one. Paul Wall. More catches today. Kadarius Toney or Kenny Galladay?
Toney. Y'all might make me sneak Toney in my lineup, man. I'm like, you know me, I like seeing them prove that they actually going to do something before I put him in the lineup.
I put him in a DraftKings lineup because with Mecole Hardman being out, I think they ramp him up a little bit. So I definitely put him in one of my lineups for sure.
Let me ask you something too about this lineup I'm working with right now. So I got right here, Deontay Johnson or Kadarius Toney. I can give a little history on Deontay too, because in the last he is getting targets. That's the thing about Deontay.
Getting targets.
He had 8.5 in week 8, 9.5 in week 7, 8.6 in week 6, and 11 week 5 against Buffalo. I've got Deontay in the lineup right now, but that's the decision that I'm forced to deal with right now. Is like I do think Kadarius Toney's going to have a big game somewhere here in the next 1 or 2 or 3 games. I just don't know if
that's the
now.
Thing is like, do you put in Kadarius Toney now and it's a week too early?
Right, exactly.
I think in this stage, I'd have to go with Deontay Johnson, especially knowing your standing position right now in that league.
Yeah,
where you gotta kind of go. You don't need to take a risk necessarily right now. You just need to get points and get a win. You know, so I just think I'd have to go Deontay Johnson. It is intriguing though. That's the great thing about daily fantasy and DraftKings. I can just make a lineup and just put in Kadarius Toney and
I know I need to start doing some more DraftKings, man, for real.
And hope it works, you know, because Mecole Hardman being out's a big thing. But then you're like, okay, does that mean now that MVS finally gets more touches? You know, because he's been kind of down the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Juju Smith-Schuster, I feel like is somebody nobody's really been talking about how much he's improved over the course of this season in general.
Man, people be acting like these players just turn into garbage overnight, man. Like Juju just had to get comfortable, man. He's proven he's a talent in the league.
He's
for sure.
averaging like 16 fantasy points a game or something crazy like that.
Yeah, and ramped it up the last couple of weeks. I see another thing about Galladay there from Bryce too. He says he knows he's gone, so he's got to show something in order to get paid. Nobody's gonna pay Kenny Galladay no money.
No,
it's a wrap for him. Dude could go Odell Beckham for the Rams in the Super Bowl run. People not gonna pay him. I don't think it's a wrap for him as far as getting a bag.
Yeah, he got his contract.
He made his money off that Dave Gettleman contract. He's good.
He ain't gonna get another one like that. He'll get paid, but I mean, he won't see anything remotely close to that.
I don't even see people paying a guy like Kenny Galladay over $10 million. Like, no way. No. You think about all those contracts that live in that like $10 to $15 million range for wide receivers that have gone absolutely terrible in the past couple of years. The Washington Commanders had one a couple of years ago when y'all were the Redskins. That dude y'all pulled over from Paul Richardson from the Seattle Seahawks. He was a complete dud. I can think Golden Tate. We paid him $30 million plus for 3 seasons. He didn't do nothing, man. So I don't think nobody's going to pay Kenny Galladay any money. It seems like there could be like that hip injury could be a thing too as well. Like it just seems like he's not as explosive as he once was.
It's tough, and those injuries that he's had are really they're injuries that just are not good for wide receivers, especially the hip.
Jarvis Landry is another wide receiver who dealt with a hip injury that came back and had a little bit of success. But I wanted to work on a video about Kenny Galladay, but I just feel like not many people are that interested in talking about Kenny Galladay these days because he's just not really putting out no product and he's been hurt. But I wanted to compare wide receivers in the past that have had a hip injury and seeing how they bounced back and had productivity after the hip injury. And there's not really that many. Jarvis Landry was definitely one of them on that list, though.
So one last Galladay thing before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Had they said like if he's starting, is there a snap count? Is there any sort of chatter on the wire about his playing time in this game?
I haven't heard much about the actual playing time, but he is healthy. And we know, the Giants wide receiver core has been pretty garbage the whole entire year. So I would imagine that he gets a lot of snaps. I think the whole like David Sills kind of experiment is kind of over. I mean, you know what you're going to get out of him. You might be able to get a couple of catches here and there. Marcus Johnson was dealing with some drops. Richie James had the 2 fumbles. He is out of the concussion protocol. I called for Richie James to play some on the outside, and the Giants just didn't do it. When Wanda Robinson got healthy, you saw Richie James, his snap count took a major hit, and that's why he's been more in the special teams. But I think Richie James, his purpose is better served as a wide receiver on this team more than a punt return specialist because, I mean, those 2 fumbles definitely hurt us. But he was doing decent before that. I will say that.
So we're going to see, I'd imagine, Galladay, Slayton, Wandell.
Yeah.
Which sounds a lot better than what it has in the last couple of weeks.
And I think you'll see some Marcus Johnson out there. They see they seem to have a lot of faith in that kid. And Edward Squires is saying that David Sills is inactive today. So, Kenny Galladay should be out there, man. Hopefully Kenny Galladay is out there for at least like 60% of the snaps.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get you guys out of here, give you guys enough time to get those lineups set. We want to thank you guys as always. We appreciate all the love and all the support. It has been an amazing Sunday, as is every Sunday. Good luck to each and every one of your teams, unless your team is the Texans or the Eagles. Right?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
you are a Giants fan. One more before we get up out of here. What you think about this one?
I gotta go Saquon. I love CMC. I love what he did last time out, and I love him fit in with that San Francisco scheme. But I just think Saquon has a really big game today.
Do you know what number he's wearing over there, CMC? I feel like it was an awkward jersey number they gave him over there.
It is. Because he didn't want to take somebody else's jersey or something like
39.
That. Frank Gore. He didn't want Frank Gore's number, I think. Something like that. I can't remember. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I go Saquon Barkley in this matchup too. Saquon Barkley's definitely going to get over 100 yards in this game. If you want to book it, go ahead and book it. I'd see Saquon getting over 100, man. I talked about the pattern, man. 100-yard game, 2 games where he doesn't go over 100, and then another 100-yard game. So if the pattern sticks, he's been off for 2 weeks now from 100 yards. He should get 100 yards in this game.
All right. right, ladies and gentlemen, I will let the man Awthentik himself take you all out of here and into your Sunday.
Yeah, man, definitely enjoy y'all games, man. This is it's good to have the Giants back out there, man, playing, man. I love it. Love Sundays when my Giants are playing, especially at 1 o'clock. Daniel Jones seems to play better at 1 o'clock as well, too, man. Definitely enjoy y'all games. Best of luck with y'all fantasy. And I see Edward Squires says CMC's wearing number 23. That's the GOAT, Michael Jordan, so not too bad. But y'all know how we end every show over here, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams because the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Shout out to the podcast. GOAT, rest in peace to Combat Jack one time. Definitely enjoy y'all games, man. Let's go Giants. Y'all know what it is. Let's get this W, man. And we'll be rooting for them Commanders, man, against the Eagles on Monday night as well. So you got a whole day to beer, but yeah, we'll be rooting for you as well, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Sundays. We will catch y'all tomorrow for the Giant Overreaction. Should be a really good one, man. Hopefully the Giants control this game. Y'all be good. Peace.
Spike don't care.